hope this comes out okay. This morning I was thinking about some of the scandalous things that are coming up in different churches and ministries, and I was thinking about one in particular, and I felt myself like judging and weighing what was happening and like what information was out there and being released. And it felt like the Lord put an emphasis on the fact that I was being judged and weighed right now. And it wasn't just me, but it felt like he was highlighting that even though these things are public, and we know that judgment begins in the house of the Lord, and that God will clean his house, and all of that, it didn't feel like those things were what was on trial right now. It was our hearts that are on trial, our ability to judge and weigh things according to righteous judgment. Because God doesn't need people to know what has happened in order to initiate his judgment. Because there are things that we will never know about people, about what's happened to them, about what's going on. There are things that we will never know. But God, from the moment it happened, God saw it and God knew. And his judgment was set in motion. But the fact that a lot of these things are coming out on the public stage, public platform, it's like, this is not about God's judgment. This is about the church's rulings, the church's judgment. And so it felt like it's not so much about like exposure and all of that, even though because judgment starts in the house of the Lord, like we know that God is moving for whatever truth there is to all the things that are happening. But it is about our personal ability to weigh and to judge according to righteous judgment, and that's what's on trial. It's not these public things, it's our hearts. And so just being challenged to, yes, judge and weigh, look at what's happening and ask God for his judgment, for his process, for whatever that looks like in exposure. But also knowing that in that, the way that I judge and weigh, the way that I make judgments is also on trial right now. And God is looking at my heart. He's looking at the hearts of the people of the church, and making evaluations, making judgments. Isaiah 33:22, it says that God is our judge, our lawgiver, and king. And so decisions, rulings start and end with him. But we have a part to play. And I know there's a scripture, I don't remember where it is, but that we will judge angels. And so all of that, it just feels like this time, yes, it's about exposure. Yes, there's been so much coming up, and that's fantastic for whatever truth is there to any of it. But just being aware that because God already knew what was happening, this is not about necessarily his judgment, even though exposure is part of that. He's looking at our hearts and looking at the way that we judge and weigh things, and we're the ones on trial. So that's it.